The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr. Speaker, what a pleasure it is to hear the honourable member who's just resumed her seat. It's been such a long time, Mr. Speaker, since this House has been graced with the eloquence of her insults. It has been such a long time since we've been reminded of her first-person knowledge of the art of cruelty, so wrongly ascribed to the internal workings of another party. But, sir, she did make one very important point, and she is probably amongst all members of this House uniquely qualified to speak about casinos, because she was indeed for many years the chair of the Casino Control Authority, and that is relevant to this bill, Mr. Speaker, because the last time that Sky City twisted arms for a sweet deal, guess who signed off on that? Judith Collins, the chair of the Casino Control Authority. So if anybody in this House knows a murky deal, she does. She is the queen of murky deals. It's like crystal, it's so clear, it's like swimming in milk.
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker.
Point of order. The Honourable Judith
Mr.
Collins.
Speaker, I take exception to the allegation and inference raised by that member. There was no murky deal in Sky City.
No.
It was actually a hearing under the law, and Labor was the government at the time.
Order. These are... Order. No, the... Order. Who said that? The member will stand, apologise and withdraw for making that comment.
Oh.
I apologise and withdraw for making that comment.
Now, the comment, I'm coming back to the point of order of Judith Collins, is that this is a debate, it's a robust debate, and I'm not going to rule what the member said is out of order while he's put his own interpretation on the way he sees it. It's not a point that the House needs to concern itself with. Honourable David Cunliffe. Point of order, Ron Marks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I take offence to a comment made by Ms Judith Collins across the House at me, and I ask that she be also instructed to withdraw and apologise.
Order. 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 Now, look, when the speaker's on their feet, there's silence. Now, once again, I didn't hear what that comment was, but if the member made a non-parliamentary comment, I'll ask her to withdraw the comment.
No, absolutely not.
Sorry? You didn't make one. All right, we can only take the member at their word. Order. Now, look, this is a debate that has, I know it's finely tuned and it's been robust and there are some sensitivities in it, but I'd ask you to give consideration to all members and to come back to the substance of what this debate is about. The Honourable David...
Point of order. Point of order.
No. Ron Mark.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, if the Hansard records the comment of Ms Collins as an interjection, I present that back to you. What's the course of action beyond that?
I have ruled. I asked a member whether they made a comment. They said they didn't. I take the member at their word. I can only take a member at their word, and that's the end of the matter. So we're continuing with this debate. I'm calling...
Point of order, Mr.
No.
Mr. Chair.
Is this a new point of order? The Honourable... The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr. Chair, without rehearsing Mr. Mark's point that you have ruled on, the question that is asked is, and not challenging your ruling, if evidence is presented later that a member has led the House, what is the course of action?
I've ruled on the matter, and it's the end of the matter. Now, the Honourable David Cunliffe has the floor.
Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
If this is a new point of order...
Yes, I just need clarification. If Mr. Mark...
Honourable Judith Collins,
thank you,
point
Mr.
of order.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if Mr. Mark objected to me saying, well, what about the SAS, Ron? If that's it's not parliamentary...
I have ruled on this matter, and... Order! I have ruled on this matter. That's the end of it. The next person who brings it up will be out. Honourable David Cunliffe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to take up your invitation to return to the substance of the bill, and I want to hold the torchlight to the claims which have been made by members opposite in the previous two speeches. This bill repeals the Sky City Casino Act. It is a simple matter to repeal. Therefore, there is no place for gratuitous insults about the length of somebody's drafting. It's succinct, to the point, and does the job. So why is it being repealed? Sir, Mr. Speaker, Labor supports this bill to Select Committee because we think that sunlight is the best disinfectant. It needs to be shone on this deal. And we do so because we support good business practice. Business in Auckland has been asking itself since John Key met with the board of Sky City, and then miraculously all the other tenderers that were involved in the tender practice process were suddenly expunged from Moby's books, and only one tenderer's tender was entertained. That is the heart of the flaw of this process. That is what this report from the Auditor General said was unfair and improper. And that's the way National does business. But that's not the way that the decent business people of Auckland or New Zealand want to see business conducted. I had a very senior CEO say to me after that occurred, the rules have changed. How do you get business done in this town? You've got to know somebody who knows somebody in the National Party. Now, that is no way to grow a strong economy or a fair and decent society. Not what you know, but who you know. And it's not whether the deal stacks up in terms of the numbers, it's whether you give some numbers to members opposite. And that is not the way we should be conducting business. And that is not my opinion. The flaws in this process are the considered judgment of an independent parliamentary officer, the Auditor General no less. Members opposite should hang their heads in shame. Now, Ms Collins had half of her speech devoted not to casinos, but to railways. Now, the only rails I can think of are the little things that go round a roulette table, but they're not owned by Toll Holdings, so why were we talking about Toll Holdings? The issue here is whether the process employed by the government and vested in the Act is a fair one. Member opposite claimed that 3,000 jobs would be created. Well, I'm sorry, but that is not what an independent report said. 18 net new jobs, 18. Mr. Brett Hudson said that this was a diversification strategy by the government because of the dairy slowdown. Well, here's the news to regional New Zealand. National's answer to regional development is to suck your tourism business out of Taupo and Rotorua and Christchurch and Queenstown and put it in Auckland because poor old Auckland hasn't got enough business. That's National's idea of regional development by the list member who's such a political genius he lost to Peter Dunn. So, member, my last question, sir, I think that speaks for itself.
Order. 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 I'm going to call the next speaker, David Seymour.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill coming